Best Laptop for Linux 2023. If you've been thinking about switching to a laptop powered by a Linux OS, you're not alone. There are so many reasons to switch to this powerful OS. It's less prone to virtual attacks and viruses, more customizable, and it's completely free. Here are the best Linux laptops you can buy right now. Number 1. Dell XPS 13. Although this laptop from Dell has a version with Windows, the XPS 13 Developer Edition comes with the Ubuntu 20.4 Linux OS installed. If you mainly just want a great laptop for everyday use with the Linux OS, this is the best option for most people. It's super lightweight and looks really sleek. It's pretty great internally as well. If you purchase this laptop from Dell with the default options. Number 2. Asus Chromebook Flip C434. If you want to experience Linux apps but you don't want to spend a lot of money, a great budget option is a Chromebook. And this Chromebook from Asus provides some pretty awesome features and internals for a lot less money than some of the other options on this list. But again, remember that even though Chromebooks can run Linux apps, they are still different than traditional Linux laptops. This specific option that we've listed here comes with a Core i3 CPU, 8 GB of memory, and 64 GB of storage, which is plenty to comfortably run any demanding Linux apps. There are different options available. You could spend more to get an if CPU, more memory, or more storage if any of these things are important to you. One of the awesome features of this Chromebook is its 360-degree hinge that allows you to use it as a laptop or a tablet. The 14 display is touchscreen, and there are ultra-narrow bezels around all sides, making it a really thin and lightweight laptop. Number 3. System 76 Oryx Pro. The System 76 Oryx Pro is the best Linux laptop for you if you want all the works. It's highly customizable so you can get exactly what you need out of your build, and it comes with System 76 open firmware with Core Boot, giving you super short boot times. You can choose between 3 different versions of Linux OS: Pop! OS 20.10, Pop! OS 20.4 LTS, or Ubuntu 20.4 LTS. You can get up to 64 GB of memory or choose a lower option for a lower price. Then, you can also customize the size of your M.2 SSD and add an additional custom M.2 SSD for even more storage space. You can also customize your graphics card, too. You can choose between an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3060, 3070, or 3080. The Oryx Pro is also a hybrid graphics laptop, meaning it switches between Intel and NVIDIA graphics, depending on when you want the best graphics and when you want to save battery life. Number 4. Purism Librem 14. If privacy is your main reason for investing in a laptop with a Linux OS, go for the Purism Librem 14. It uses GNU/Linux Pure OS, and the company detects software and hardware tampering with Pure Boot in the Librem key. With this laptop, the Intel management engine has been disabled to reduce risk and bloat in the system. Purism uses BIOS and EC chips that are protected through hardware kill switches. If you're one who's always worried about someone seeing through your camera or listening through your microphone, Purism takes that fear away with their security promise. Their hardware kill switches will physically disconnect the camera and mic if your laptop detects anything suspicious. Plus, like many of the other laptops on this list, you have some great customization options. You can customize the battery, memory, storage, and install firmware. With the default options, you'll get 8 GB of DDR4, a 250 GB M.2 SSD, and Core Boot Plus C BIOS firmware. Number 5. Juno Neptune 15-inch. When most people think of a gaming laptop, the first thing that comes to mind probably isn't one with a Linux OS. Over the past few years especially, gaming has become more accessible to computers with Linux operating systems. Multiple games through Steam are available to download directly for Linux OS. The Neptune laptop from Juno is an awesome option for anyone looking to mainly game on their new Linux laptop. It's a bit more expensive, but it comes with a quality CPU and GPU. You'll get an Intel 8-core i7 CPU in 3 different options when it comes to your GPU: NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2060, 6GB GDDR6, 2070, 8GB GDDR6, or 2080, 8GB GDDR6. Then, you'll be able to customize your memory, starting at 16GB of DDR4, and the size of your M.2 NVMe SSD, starting at 512GB. You can add an optional SSD as well if you feel you need more storage. Number 6. System 76 Lemur Pro. The System 76 Lemur laptop is another great option from System 76 that's a bit more affordable than the Oryx Pro and better for the everyday worker. You can get a whopping 14 hours of battery life out of this laptop, making it a great option if you frequently work outside of your home. The Lemur model still uses System 76's open firmware with core boot for security and fast boot times. For your CPU, you can choose between an 11th Gen Intel Core i5 and i7. For your Linux OS, you can choose between Pop! OS 20.10, Pop! OS 20.4 LTS, or Ubuntu 20.4 LTS. Then, just like the Oryx Pro, you can also customize your amount of memory, SSD size, and whether you want an additional SSD. Plus, this laptop has a nifty 180-degree hinge that's great if you want to adjust your workspace throughout your hour's work. And at only 2.4 ounces, it's incredibly lightweight. Number 7. Lenovo ThinkPad X1 Carbon, 8th Gen. If the System 76 Lemur doesn't suit your needs for work, this Lenovo ThinkPad is another great option and maybe more familiar for some people. Lenovo is a well-known and reputable brand. The ThinkPad X1 Carbon is probably being used by many with Windows, but you can custom order it to come with a Linux OS. Most of the builds on Lenovo's website come with Windows OS, but under the Build Your Own tab, you'll see an option for Linux OS. Because the ThinkPad X1 Carbon is already such a great work laptop with Windows, swapping it to Linux just adds privacy and security to whatever you're working on. This laptop comes with a 10th Gen Intel Core i5 CPU, 8GB of LPDDR3 RAM, and a 256GB PCIe SSD.